Now joined by Silverbacks assistant coach Carter Cochrane following a 5-2 loss to the Vernon Vipers on Tuesday night. Carts, as always, just want to get your general thoughts. I mean, a good first, it was 2-2, and then they kind of stole that third period and came away with a 5-2 win. What are your thoughts on this performance?
Yeah, it's a tough one. It might be a little bit of the hockey gods paying us back for last game. Obviously, we were able to sneak out a win in a game that we didn't feel like we maybe deserved to, considering our 60-minute effort. And then tonight's a night where we start well. We play hard in the first period and, really controlled pretty much the first half of the game. I just think that I'll give them credit. Even when we kind of were controlling the pace and kind of dictating the game, they weren't really giving up much still. They were strong structurally, didn't make a lot of mistakes, and were able to kind of weather our storm there. And then they were opportunistic, which they have been against us all year, and were able to capitalize on a few of our mistakes. And, I think it was just a game where you're kind of waiting for somebody to kind of jump out and take over, and we got instances of it at times, but just not nearly enough to get the win.
So we've talked a little bit about getting ready for or preparing for that pushback, right? You guys go up 1-0, you have a real good first. You probably know that pushback's coming in the second. When was it in the second when you guys were maybe looking for more from your guys and you guys couldn't handle their pushback, if that was the case?
Well, that happened in the second. I think that you might look at the score and see them score too early in that period, but they had 2 chances in the second period, 2 chances in the first 40 minutes, and they got 2 goals out of them. So, like I said, I think it's just an instance in those types of games. And I mean, every time we play these guys, there's a playoff feel to it. And you look back to last year in our playoff series against Victoria, and it was Luke Millimock who seemed to always be coming up with a big goal when we really needed it. And we've gotten those performances from guys throughout this pod. And, Simon Tassi was the guy who really stepped up for us big last game. And, at 2-1, I think you look at Hunter Sansbury's pass there and the transition that it started for us to create that 2-on-1 and get us a goal. I mean, those are the types of plays that you're looking for and the types of plays that you need to be able to win a game like tonight's. And, I think we showed that we could roll over all 4 lines and all 6D in that first period, and that it just wasn't really enough. And we needed somebody to kind of take over and provide that, punch, whether it was a big save from Stacey or, a big goal on the power play, or just something that kind of gives us the life and the momentum and, puts them away, whether that's at 1-0, whether that's at 2-2. And, I think it's just it's a good learning lesson for our group. We've got some young guys that have been some pretty key contributors for us so far, and it's important for them to understand when the game's leaning one way or the other, and when they need to maybe step up and take that next step and kind of take over the game. And that's kind of that next step with our entire group we're looking for. And, it's a great opportunity. We have some young guys in feature roles that we are expecting a lot from now, and they've earned those expectations based on their play. And we had some guys make mistakes tonight that have been playing really good hockey for us lately, and they ended up in the back of our net. And I think it's just an opportunity for us to learn from it. There's always an opportunity for us to learn, but you only learn a lesson if you don't make the same mistake again. And, we're trending in the right direction. We're doing good things. And, I think that we showed that, we played hard tonight. A couple bounces one way or the other, and it's a different result. But in the scenario that we're in this setting, you don't really get many opportunities to make up for those. And, I think that, again, it's a good lesson learned tonight. And I think I speak for our entire group when I say that I'm sick of learning these lessons against Vernon. And it's been kind of a one-sided rivalry for the last 5 years here. And it's on us to change that. And, I think that our whole entire group is extremely motivated. And, this one stings a little bit more than the others so far, even after going 8 games without losing in regulation. And, it's an impressive run to go on, but, it definitely takes away from it when you have a night like tonight. And, I'm sick of losing to these guys.
Just lastly here, before we turn to the next game against the Warriors. So you've talked a little bit about, needing guys to step up. You guys have come back before against Vernon when you were down 2 in the third. This one felt different. Can you explain how that third period was kind of different from the other time when you guys did tie it late in the third?
Yeah, you know what? I think that those wins, as great as they are emotionally draining, and those comebacks. And, in the you only have so much gas in the tank in a scenario like this, in this setting, and I think that it's just a matter of, I think just the nature of the game, and it wasn't a game that really felt like chances were being traded back and forth, and I mean, a 1-goal lead in that game felt big, and to see it get to 2, I think if that happens the other way, I don't think they have a ton of pushback either. It's just when both teams are playing the way they are and it's structured. I think we might have gotten to 10 chances by the end. I mean, but that was carried a lot from our first 35, 40 minutes there, and they were under 10 chances as well. And when those games start to get like that and you open up a 2-goal lead, it can feel like a lot bigger. And it's just the difference between the last game we played against West Kelowna, where I mean, we go down 5-4 with a minute and 20 seconds left and the game doesn't feel over. And I'm not going to say that our guys quit. That's definitely not the point I'm trying to make here. But it just feels a lot bigger lead to come back from. And when you've had a few of those in the past couple of weeks, it can be emotionally draining. And we had fight till the end. It's just they did a good job of shutting us down, and they didn't give up a whole lot in the third. And got to give credit where it's due. I think they earned one in the last 2 periods there, and after we failed to kind of capitalize on our opportunities to take the game over.
Is there anything to take from this heading into Wednesday's game against the Warriors? What is the stuff that you do want to take, if anything?
I think we just got to build off the positives and understand that we did play a really good hockey game for 2 periods there, and even if the score didn't indicate it after 2, and even in the third period, it's not like Vernon took the game over and buried us with chances and came wave after wave. We had 2 mistakes that cost us, and those are mistakes that I just don't think happen again if we play that game over 10 times. And I think it's just about sticking to the process, and if we can understand what makes us successful, and I think that there's lessons to be learned in how we scored tonight and maybe how we didn't. I mean, Drew Benning gets a goal right in front of the net there from battling hard, and I think that's a lesson for our guys. Benny's been frustrated with his production lately, and it's good to see him bust out of that. And I think we're going to see him kind of use that to kind of build off of. And Benny's a guy that thrives in these types of settings, and he's been playing good hockey, just hasn't been getting rewarded for it. And just see him kind of get in front of the net and bury a greasy one like that. I just think that it's a good lesson for other guys who might be struggling. That's where you need to go to score. And we've embraced the hard way in a lot of aspects of our game in terms of how hard our forecheck is, the expectations we have for our guys transitioning from offense to defense, the way our defensive zone has been. And I just think we need to kind of translate some of that work into our offense and get to the dirty areas and play with a little bit more tenacity in those areas, and we're going to start to get rewarded for it. And you're going to take hacks and whacks along the way, but they feel a lot better when you get a goal next to your name and the team gets a win. So that's just kind of the focus now.
Perfect. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you.